What's up, guys? Daemonxel back again with another EVE Frontier video. It is patch day. What it also means is the opening of Cycle 4, and really it plays like a fresh new game. There is so much new things added into this game. Let's talk about it. All right, so we are going to talk about Cycle 4, the patch notes, everything to be expected that is new with this cycle. And I'm telling you right now, it does play like a completely different game. It is so fresh coming into this cycle off of the last 3 cycles, which were basically repetitive. But before we get into all of that, that's right, we're going to do the shameless plug, which is using my referral code. That's right. If you want to go ahead and play this, because there's not going to be a free trial until the end of this cycle, which means all these new really cool details that are in the game, all these new things, you won't be able to try if you are not a founder. So go get a founder's pack. Doesn't matter which tier you get, they're all going to give you access to it. And under your account page, go ahead and put in my code. It is Daemonxel. It is my name. And that is the plug. That helps me with Grace, and it helps me with the leaderboard. And yeah, let's move on. Okay, so as you can see, things are different in this game. We have full WASD controls back, right? See here, we're using our, as you can see here, I'm just spinning around using my port thrusters. We have our everything here. Now, I believe we can remap this. I've seen it done on a controller. I've seen it done on a Thrustmaster flight stick. And I'll probably put out a video on how to do this down the road. But we're going to be coming out with a lot of content in the next couple of days and weeks. Basically, I think I'm going to have to build a new starter guide because everything's changed. Everything's changed down to basically some of the stuff that we even mind. But let's go to the patch notes and talk about exactly what's listed. Okay, so first off, it is, as you said, the manual controls. This is version 2 of the manual controls, so it's not fully stripped down like we were doing in the test in Cycle 3. Cycle 4 is going to be completely unhinged with the WASD. There is no point, click, and go. That is gone. Bye-bye. If you want that, you're going to have to play one of the other EVE games. It is not coming back, as far as I know. All right, it says, first of all, they want us to know that these patch notes are effectively the same as the initial implementation. All the new stuff, all the juicy updates, they're all available here. So, what do we got? Well, we have direct input. I'm going to play this video real quick as we are talking. So, riders can now use the WASD direct control of their ship, giving movement natural, intuitive feel. In fact, we can actually test this in the live game because I have the live game up running in the background. But yeah, the WASD control, your A and D is going to give you your yaw, your W and S is going to give you your pitch, that's your up and down. A and D is your left, right. If you want to move forward, you have increments of 4 to go to max speed, and that's going to be used with the E key. And to go backwards, you are going to press the Q key. That's going to decrease your speed. And actually, if you're at 0 and you hold down the Q, it's going to put you into reverse. Now, if you want to make a short stop, you're going to have to press your shift and spacebar key. That'll make you come to an abrupt stop. What else is there? Okay, we talked about remapping the keys, right? I'm going to do a video on it later on down. If you want to go ahead and remap your keys, it's going to be in the remapping menu, which is where I just saw that. It's under, you go hit escape, go to shortcuts and navigation. It'll be in there, and you can switch out how you want everything. Now, your F key is now going to be your interact key. So I know it used to be E, but now that E is now moved for your movement, you're going to have to retrain yourself to not click E every time you want to open up a rec. It's going to be F or, obviously right-click open. So you can see E is your accelerate, stop ship is control space, Q is reverse or decelerate. We went over all this. Okay, so there are changes to the WASD controls, all right? They have made multiple changes. The physics engine is better to support manual flight. All the ships have been adjusted. So they went over and did a balance pass over the ship. So they're going to start feeling a little bit different when you are using those manual controls. The autopilot has almost been mostly removed. Some parts are still remaining, such as waypoints for interstellar travel, but it has been modified. So double-clicking in space to move in a direction has been removed. We just talked about that. It is still possible to use both contextual menu, that's the right-click, and the double-clicking on the brackets of static objects to command your ship to automatically go to that point. Let me show you what I mean here. Let me bring up the game. As you can see here, we have, okay, so I got my portable refinery, I got my refuge, right? I got my printer. Now, if I right-click, I can hit approach. We can set destination, stuff like that. But yeah, we can do approach. But there is no more, as you see, I'm clicking, and we're not going anywhere. So we are going to have to use the manual controls or right-click approach, and that's how you're going to get to those things. Let's go back to those notes. The selected window, object window, has been removed. That's an info window. If you're wondering what that is, that's that contextual menu that was always sitting right up here. When you clicked on something, it would give you an info, right? So you'd click on this, it would pop up. Now, my one criticism is I would bring that back. And for those that don't want it, make it optional, right? Have a toggle so that you can have it or can't have it. Because every time I want to go to find information about something like this, I'm going to have to select the drone. I'm about to right-click the drone and then go to show info. Before I can just click it and go up here and press the button, and I'm good. So it's just one of those quality of life things for me that I'm going to miss because I really did like that window. Hopefully they do bring it back at some point. The old speed widget has been removed, replaced with the new movement widget. But we saw that in the test before. Manual flight is enabled in tactical mode. Then we talked about this in previous video. Yes, you can do manual flight while you are in tactical mode, but it is going to be harder, right? It's going to give you a mix of manual and automated movement. It says here, this is that fulfill the ideal spatial fantasy, and we're taking this next step to try and uncouple the legacy HUD until we have higher fidelity automated control schemes, which makes sense for tactical mode. So yes, we can shoot out to tactical, which is F2. And yeah, we can use it here, but when you zoom in out, it's going to be harder to control, especially when you don't know which angle you are, because all you have is your diamond here, right? You're going to have to zoom in to see exactly which direction you are pointed, so you know where you are going. All right, the design intent, it says here, their intent is to introduce an elegant and accessible foundation for Frontier's evolving piloting fantasy. They want you to be immersed, right? They want you to enjoy the space. They don't want you it to be basically a reskinned EVE Online, right? Yes, we took the foundation of EVE Online and built upon it to make a truly original space game. It says here, so far that there is no mastery involved. There is a small price of admission with some of the skill required. This is a hardcore game after all. Get good skill issue. So yeah, they're basically saying that it's not just going to be point and click enemy or orbit. You are going to have some kind of piloting skill to exceed in this game. Now the camera, they increased the field of vision, that FOV camera. So as you can see, if I go here, it's nope, right there. Okay, let's go back to the front cam. Now, before we'd only be able to pull out to this far, right? Not this far. But now, as you can see, we can zoom out a little bit farther before we shoot out into tactical mode. So yes, we do get a little bit more range on our ship. I would like it a little bit more, to tell you the truth, just because I like the artwork. I like seeing everything in there. I don't like having just the black and orange tactical menu all the time. Oh, be advised, guys, this is going to be a pretty long video just to go over. There's a lot of information to go over here. Collisions. Collisions are back in the game. There is no collision damage currently right now, but they want you to know that it's going to feel different hitting a structure via hitting an asteroid. So there's going to be different effects, different sounds, stuff like that. They did away with the fully elastic restitution, which makes collisions feel more realistic. So in other words, you're not going to hit and then bounce off, far, far away. They got rid of that. Okay, industry changes, right? We now have endless industry. We also have that output bay so that when we do make something, we refine something, we build something, it's going to be put into that output bay. And as you're as your queue is going, as your jobs are progressing through here and through the you can keep moving things in and out, and you can take stuff out of the output bay so that you really do have a seamless line of industry continuing on. So it says here, assemblies can now process one run at a time and continuing running as long as the following conditions are met, right? Sufficient input materials for a single run. There is sufficient space for output storage, and the assembly is powered. It says players can. This is all the same stuff that we were dealing with last go around, right? You can keep putting stuff in. You can keep taking stuff out. So say I put all the materials in to run a job. Well, now I can take the materials that are left over out of that printer or refinery or whatever, move it to somewhere else to get ready for the next position, the next job. Players can view other blueprints while the assembly is running, so that's good. There will also be a limited number of runs each blueprint can automatically process. Players will need to keep adding input materials and removing output products in order to keep the assembly running. So, the big one for ships. Excuse me. It's been a very long day. Okay, so, and yes, I know this video is probably going to be coming out the next day. So, not on our patch day, not on the live day of Wednesday. This will be coming out probably by the time you guys are seeing this, it will probably be Thursday. Okay, so ships. When we build our ships, right, we can go to our hangar or refuge, right, if we're doing like a reflex, something like that, and you can accept the ship from that interactive menu. Well, you can't do that anymore. Right now, you're going to have to be able to select it from the job that you're printing from. It's either the either the printer or sorry, the assembler, the shipyard, whichever you're building your ship. You're going to have to manually put it into that hangar where you want it. So yeah. So and you can't jettison it out into space anymore either. Okay. So again, they're doing incremental changes as they are progressing through the game. I think they're going to be the building blocks as we move more towards automation, so that we can have fully automated things going on at our base. It says here right now we're in the inventing the wheel part of civilization tech tree, and we got a ways to go before we get to that. Gandhi is the chain building missile style terrain nuclear. Okay. All right. So build mode improvements. We introduced several changes on how riders can place and orient their assemblies. Okay, so we've seen this on the last one as well. The only difference now is, as you can see, we can total, wherever we want to put it, up, down, left, right, forward, backwards, wherever we want to go. We can spin it, rotate it. But now we have a full, we get to the part of the video right here, a full 720 degree rotation. So if you want your refineries at a slight angle or going sideways, you can do that. Which means now we can abuse the system and have space lettering. I can make refineries to spell something out in space, So yes, break the system. Go to your heart's content. I want to see screenshots of you guys with these base builds. So you go ahead and DM to me in, on Discord, and maybe I'll show them on a future video. Okay. So workflow position. Okay, we talked about that. You have the snap to fit now. We have the alignment guides, all that good stuff. Also, transmission archive. So all those cryptic messages we'd get from Keeper, and you would see them. Let's bring up the game. You would see them pop up right down here, right? Your news feed, your notification feed. Well, now it's moved to a separate area. It is now moved to, let's see, what's it called here? The broadcast terminal. They're in the archive tab of the mission hub. So if we bring up our mission hub, which I have not completed any missions, not that I know of, maybe mind. Gotta wait for authentication. There we go. All right, so we have our archive right here, and that's going to give us all our messages that we have seen, which we're going to be receiving. Every past broadcast is going to go there. So if you ever want to see them, just go to that tab. All right, now here is the big one. Now this is the one I am super excited for, and this is character progression. Now I haven't had a chance to really get into the game. I've been very busy at work today, but I wanted to make sure I got this out to you guys. I'll be playing more and more of this game today. Let's go to our info. So here's our character sheet. Oh, come on back now. All right, so here's our character sheet, right? As you can see, I can sacrifice my current shell because I have been learning things. You do everything you do is going to teach you something, right? Whether you are running your hull repair, whether you are mining or PVEing, shooting your waste, whatever you do, it's going to give you more learning. And then as you sacrifice your current shell, which I think we have to do it at a refuge, I haven't tried it yet. We're going to get persistent bonuses to our characters. So permanent bonuses. Now, if you are killed before you are able to sacrifice the knowledge that you got to basically give it to the whole. Now, a person in the comments on one of my previous videos gave me this, and their name is, give a little shout out to, is Aster Lonvontera 8710. The term is infomorph, right? Because we could project our consciousness into several different bodies, and we're bringing that data back and basically updating our database. So in essence, we are all infomorphs in this game. That being said, if you are killed before you're able to sacrifice, all that knowledge that you've gained, all that stuff is lost. Now, when you do sacrifice, you basically upgrade your clone, and you're going to have that permanent percentage onto your clone. It's pretty easy, right? So we will definitely have to do some guides on that down the road. And each skill level that you guys get on this, on your character, basically your character and the shell, it will improve your fitting attributes of your ship. So yes, you can actually give yourself advantages over heat. So yes, it will let you travel farther. It will let you shoot more accurately. It will let you mine more efficiently. Stuff like that. So it's a nicer way than just putting a skill in a slot and learning over time, right? I know that's the traditional EVE way, but I like this better, the more active learning. Yeah, I think this is just a fresh take on that. Now, NPC behavior. Now, they did tell us that they are going to be completely different. The AI has been upgraded, so we are now dealing with smarter feral drones, right? Because they are the denizens of the frontier. Now, we are going to see different ones. It says here, drones equipped with these behaviors currently are only available in landscapes. So, the newer ones, and we're going to touch on this later on about the landscapes. These newer ones, they can trade, they can fire on you, they can call in reinforcements, they can chase you down, right? But this is only in landscapes. And landscapes, unfortunately, are only going to be in the starting areas. Right, they're not going to be throughout the entire trinary. That will be probably farther on down the road. But so we are just basically getting an early preview of landscapes and what we can do in landscapes. So if you do want to experience that, you are going to have to stick around that starting zone, because once you go more towards the center of the universe, they're not going to be there currently at this time. It says here, some drones are now equipped with scanners. They can check your inventories of wrecks, containers, ships, and certain assemblies. Some drones desire specific items and will do what is necessary to acquire these, whether it be trade or trying to kill you. Some drones will leave traces of their interactions with objects. The loot from some drones is now partially tied to their activities, experiencing before their death. Drones are now have the reasons for attacking beyond simply just shooting on sight. Drones are capable. Yeah, so remember in the previous cycles we'd be shooting, and instead some of these drones our alignment towards them are, I forget the term. I'm sorry, I'm just brain dead right now. I have no caffeine. But basically, our status will drop with them. So yeah, expect that. Drones are capable of halting aggression under the right circumstances. Drones will hold grudges against specific ships when having wronged them. This is nice. We are actually going to have a working economy. So yes, we'll be able to start listing things on the market again. It's been so long. So long. Right? We've gone through 3 cycles. Each cycle is 3 months. So the last 9 months, we have not really had anything on the market. And in fact, on the last half of cycle 3, since they introduced the relay, there was really nothing you could do from the market, right? Everything had to be done through the relay. But now you're able to list things, you're able to sell things. So those of you who are traders, you can now live the dream and start figuring out what your trade routes are going to be and stuff like that during this alpha test. Now, with that being said, a lot of things have changed, right? They said legacy asteroid types have been renamed. Resources they yield are no longer inherently bound, enabling broad future changes. All asteroid entries have been updated with the descriptions aligned to their new categorizations. Asteroids now identify the materials they output. Let's go to the game here. And as you can see here, there's some new things, right? There's a comet here, right? So let's go to the info screen. So a comet, right? Description. Primitive water bearers from stellar formation. These comet-like asteroids hold preserved secrets in their hydrated sulfate cores, part ice, part metal. They've time capsules. So basically, this was your normal ore, right? Most possible, or this is your carbonaceous. But those terms, they're gone. As you can see here, I've already got platinum, which used to be our metal rich. We got hydrated sulfite, which I believe was our this was our carbonaceous. And we have feldspar crystals, which was our normal ore, right? Our common ore. So you're gonna have to retrain yourself with all these new terminologies. All right. Let's see. Materials primarily used in new player experience now include additional signposting. Material descriptions now identify the primary asteroid type from which they can be acquired. Let's check that out. Let's go to the game here. Let's go to info on feldspar crystal. There we go. Okay, so we can see that these are commonly found in char asteroids, typically located within crystalline shear fields. So we know what we're looking for now, right? All right. Refined compounds have been updated and given descriptions. Compound descriptions identify the material from which they can be refined. So market groupings have been reorganized to distinguish resource families better. The overall universe distribution of char asteroid sites has been increased by 10%. A new resource type, palladium, has been added to the industry. Tony Stark should be happy. The output materials of hydrated sulfide matrix have been adjusted. D1 fuel water requirements have been reduced. And feral drones have been hard at work. Additional corpses can now be found within new player experience, not the ones that you create yourself by meeting other riders. Primary resources sites within the new player experience have had their names updated to improve understanding of the resource. Now, from Universe, this is the landscapes we were talking about, right? So we did a whole video on this. We talked about this, but let's just talk about the different things. So the new site type is inner belt sites. The inner belt terrain persists permanently. What you find today will be there tomorrow. So yeah, if you know that, hey, this one is usually going to be a great field for mining, you don't have to worry about mining it fully out. It's always going to be there. Built for exploration and discovery across massive scales, while currently our content ranges from sizes of 25 to 150 kilometers, future areas may go up and possibly exceed 3,000 kilometers. Points of interest will be found within these landscapes. So there's going to be several different types that you'll find within one. You know, it could be a PvE site, it could be a mining site, it could be, you know, it could be anything you find in there. Entering their range reveals the pocket of content and removes the icon. We showed this before. That's where targeting can then commence. All right, the new travel module, the Leap. This is the new engine, which will shoot you up to like 9,000 ms. Basically to traverse these landscapes. Now, you won't be able to steer while this is engaged. It can only go in one direction, and it will only cost you 1 orange goo to make. All right, so it says here, dramatic speed increases. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Okay, they can be built in portable printers, and they can be fitted to every ship that is currently in the game. The Reaver, the Reflex, the Recurve, USV, Lorha, MCF, Tades, HAF. We don't know if the Stride and the Cormac will be back in the game this cycle. We don't know that yet. We're only, 12 hours in? Maybe a little less than 12 hours into the cycle, so no news on that yet. All right, warping into the inner belts. You're always going to warp at the same place, but you won't be you You won't always be landing at the same coordinates. The angle of direction from where you are initiated your warp and the density of the field will dictate where you will drop out of warp. So yes, you will always be landing to the same landscape, but one time you could be on one side and the other you'll be on a complete other side. So there's been updates to the UX and visual updates. So we have increased field of vision on the grid, the distances. They extended the tactile camera zoom range to make it easier for finding these points of interest. Again, but I want more of the first-person camera, right? I don't want to play the entire game in tactical mode. I like color. Okay, so these new sites, again, we talked about this. It's in early access. They're not persistent throughout the entire trinary. They're only going to be those starting things. There is some performance issues with missing collisions and some rough edges. Systems and content will change rapidly as we gather feedback and iterate into our system. So baby steps, right? Moving into the right direction where we want to go. Builder updates. With this release, the frontier is moving to the OP Sepia blockchain ahead of our long transmission to SWI next year. I'm not a builder, so I'm not going to get all into that. Now, there are some issues that they know of that need to be fixed. Collisions, we just talked about that. It's possible in extreme cases to get stuck inside of a collision mesh. There's been issues with the launcher. Asteroids and materials. While asteroids, materials, and compounds have had their names and description updated, they will still use the older icons. So we are still using the old icons for like the common ore, the carbonaceous, and the metal rich. So that's why they look the same. It says methane ice shards can sometimes be described as cryogenic methane ice shards. The platinum palladium matrix is giving out too few silica grains. The reinforced alloys output also is updated in a future patch. NPCs currently mine and hold the old ore types, so players will be able to retrieve these within basically looting the defeated drones. So yes, if they are mining, you can kill them and take the ore that they've been gathering, just kind of like if you kill a player miner. And that's basically everything right there. We are almost 30 minutes in, and like I said, it's a big update, and a lot of stuff has changed. So if you haven't played this since Cycle 1 of this era, you're in for a big treat. It is completely different. So until I talk to you guys again, have a great week. Have a great weekend. Fly safe. And remember, here on this channel, we're always one vision, one purpose, one front. I'll see you guys in the next video.